Hello. Hello, everyone. Mellow. Time for the Q&A, guys. So, number 1. Have you ever been to Somerset, England? If so, which town, village, country? If not, it's just going. It's beautiful and full of lovely views. I have actually been to Somerset. I don't know if it's in another country, but yes, I have. And funnily enough, it's actually where I did my pyrotechnics course at university. So yes, your boy has the legal ability to handle explosives. Let that sink in. Thank you so very much. I don't know, it just happens. Do you know who they remind me of?
Francine, we need to talk.
Are you going to post more singing videos? Yes. Actually, I've already started the process of another one, and I'm hoping I'll be a bit better at it. But it's actually going to be with Lizzie, aka Princess Rizu. What are your inspirations for your own original content? Oh, wow. So I'm guessing probably the most original content is obviously like Pip and Twitch, right? So like obviously all the other stuff is like, I still like to come up with something like with the DBD where I come up with like, or Dead by Daylight, where we come up with little stories and tidbits to keep things interesting for you guys. But Pip and Twitch, probably, I mean, it's going to be cliche, but one of them is obviously, it's got to be Amy, my wife. She comes up with so many characters, which she tells me the stories of and tells me and she gets excited and I see like a little smile and a little gleam in her eye whenever she talks about them. Her characters are so good and she's put so much thought and care and love into them that you can't help but be admired by it, really. So check her stuff out, please. Like, her characters need more love. They really do. Bin of Trash, of course, and her OC Chronicle series, so that's probably one of them. And then the other thing is a bit more odd, but if you've ever heard of Team 4-Star, there's a series on there which Mr. Lanipator does. Incredible guy. I love him to bits. But yeah, he plays the character Vegeta, obviously. But he does a series called Renegade for Life, where he plays Vegeta playing different games. And that's kind of where I started doing the Pip and he helped the idea of doing that helped with Pip and Twitch doing them. So that's where I like doing those two voices together. I'd love to collab with him at some point on something. Pip, can you imagine Pip and Twitch versus Vegeta? Holy crap. That'd be amazing. How many times are you and Amy going to be breaking up or divorcing in Minecraft? Lol. As many times as it takes. How do you start a fan base for a YouTube channel that only posts one video a week? Alright, okay. So with the way YouTube works, right? And you need to, most of the time you need to upload consistently for YouTube algorithm to be like, hey yo, what that day? So if you're gonna be posting videos once a week, there are channels that do it successfully, and I like, for example, so like Jontron does that a lot. Well, maybe not once a week, but you know what I mean. There's a Rust YouTuber called Wellen. He uploads once or twice a week. So the way that I suggest doing that is, if you're going to upload not regularly, then the video that comes out has to be really good quality. Something, something special, something that you put that, if they look at if they look at it, they're like, oh yeah, I can see why that took a week. If it's just going to be a let's play every week, then it's not really something that people can, they can get that from everywhere else. You got to offer them something unique is probably the best way to put it. Oh, hey Lang, how you doing? Exactly where did the name come from, and are you the dragon or the hat? Well, the name came from me actually putting a lot of thought into it, sadly enough. When I first started to create the channel, I was like, okay, I need a memorable name, something branding, something I can brand. So I looked at Rooster Teeth. And you got a rooster and a teeth, two objects you never see together. So I thought, I'll do the same thing. I like dragons. and the hat is something useful I can put on like at conventions or something like that. So that's how that came along. As for which one am I? I'm both and neither. What is the secret of What is the secret of having a happy marriage? Communication. It's cliche, but it's true. I guess just communication and being open, I guess, in the sense. I guess that's the same thing. But I mean, like, I've seen Amy and Amy's seen me at our worsts. We've been there for the best. But you know, just because someone's at their lowest doesn't mean you give up. You know, it affects you and you want them to be happy. So, you know, there's a reason why, you know, like when Amy's not happy, I'm not either. Like, you know, if she's upset, you know, then if I'm in the middle of a stream and, you know, she's really down or upset or really, you know, in tears, I will stop the stream. You know, she's more important than that. So, will you be continuing Twitch's story or doing another Minecraft roleplay series? Okay, so I knew this one would come up, so I picked it specifically. So I do want to tell that story. Absolutely, there's no doubt about it. The way I was doing it is it just became too much work. I've looked back into it, and the mod is a lot easier to use now that I use for recording. So it's something I definitely do want to do. Whether it be maybe a slightly lower quality. Maybe not low quality, but like less often that you see those things. But if I do it again, what I would like to do is I'd like to get a bunch of episodes ready and done. Because when me and Amy went to visit Paris to go to a artist convention, a lot of the professionals there were saying, you know, it's your creative, it's your own projects that make, you know, that really get you places. But you know, don't pummel yourself into the ground for it. Just get everything ready, you know, get it all done and then release it. So that's probably what I'll do if we do continue. Who else do you voice besides Geralt? How do you feel about your job? Is it stressful? Is it fun? Well, I voice a lot of other characters actually. I'll show you my website. Boom. Yeah, I voiced all these, and then there's even like way more others as well. I voiced in quite a few things, and a few more things coming up as well. Is it stressful? Yep. Essentially, if you can't deal with rejection, you'll be rejected for a lot of roles. Nothing personal or anything like that. It's just it's not a competition per se, but like, you know, you I don't know, like you're putting yourself out there constantly, so you know you got to be ready for that. Is it fun? Hell yeah, boy! Which is better to voice? Doesn't hurt your voice as much, Twitch or Pip?
Actually, neither of them really hurt. When you do voice work for long enough, you learn to control, and you use your diaphragm. And I've kind of learned how to do these two, and it's not really that difficult for me anymore. I can just switch between them. It's kind of why I decided to do the series in the first place. Yes.
Worst injury you've ever had? Okay, I've actually been quite lucky. I've never really had like a massive injury. The worst thing I've ever had probably would be at one point I was out playing some football with some friends, and I was walking down a little hill, and there was like an indent on it. I didn't see it, and my ankle went 90 degrees. Yeah, cringe. And like ever since then, it's been weaker, and the muscles are like stretched, so it's not as like good. So I actually, funnily enough, I actually kind of like I put more weight on one than the other. So that's probably the worst thing I've done, but I've never like broken a bone or anything like that. So I've been pretty lucky. How did you come up with Pip and Twitch? All right, so Twitch, he was the first character created out of the two. And I was actually back when I was doing Let's Plays in the majority, and it was when I was playing, I think it was when I was watching like Battle Block Theater, and I was also playing a game called Watch Dogs. And basically, I didn't really collab very often back then, so I wanted something or someone to bounce off of. So I thought, how about I create a character for it? So that's where Twitch came in. And essentially the idea of what he was going to be was that he would, he would have a go at me or poke at me at the beginning of it. And then I could also do videos like announcing stuff with him. And then Pip came along because I realized that I wanted to extend on the character a bit more because I was doing voice work. So I realized that Twitch needed a character the polar opposite of him, and that's how Pip was made. And we actually made him on stream. I'll see if I can find the video, but the video should be up actually where we created him with you guys. Basically, I'm doing something where I'm coming up. I'm doing a character creation stream where we're coming up with a character, which is a creation of this one, the one I'm floating around here, and basically the idea is we're all creating this character together. We're going to give him like a personality, a voice, what he looks like, etc. And we're going to have them basically play videos and play games on the channel as them. How long have you and Amy been together? Going on 5+ years now. Oh, this is a good one. Okay, when doing VA work for anything, how much is usually cut in ratio to what you send in? Deleted attempts for every success or what? Okay, that is a good question. Okay, so usually a lot of companies will ask for, or a lot of clients will ask for no more than 3 attempts on each line. Some will ask for none, not none, but some will ask for just the one. But a lot of the time they'll be like, yeah, you can do 2 or 3 attempts. Just make sure you send them in separate files, blah blah blah. As for it though, usually I'll do maybe like, it's difficult to say because like sometimes I'll do a line and I'm like, bam, perfect, that's exactly how I wanted it to turn out. And sometimes, I'll be like, I'll do like 10 takes and I'll only like 2, or sometimes I'll do 20 takes on something and then I realize the first one was actually the best one. So it all depends on the complexity of the line, but it can range from the first one was perfect, or in my eyes anyway, and like 20 sometimes. Like, it depends on the line of the character. Do you play D&D? If so, what's your favorite racing class? As for favorite racing class, okay, race, I'm very basic. I like my human. So I don't like having a disadvantage, which a lot of the other races do. So like, for example, like elves, I think they'll have like a, just as a generic idea, like they'll have a +2 to dexterity and then like a -to something else, right? I don't like having that, personally. And I like the fact that with humans, you can have, you get a lot of you can get like extra points and stuff like that. And yeah, they're just a good base to work off of. As for class, I definitely do. I like my DPS, so I like to play my ranger. I like to play like rogues, my wizards, sorcerers, and that sort of thing. Yeah, that's probably where I'm going to go with it. Can you shout out my channel, JK? Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay, so if you go and check out
Bin of Trash,
the channel is pretty good. Go check it out. How many voices can you do, and can we hear some? Absolutely.
Well, we got this one first, of course.
Then we've got this one. And then we got this one, of course. And then we got this one, what? We'll butter you down. And then we got this one, of course, the big guy. I'm gonna take it out. And then we've got this one. Why did it feel so good to kill her? And then we've got this one. I am the Frange and I will.
I actually did that voice. I got that for a role, so shush.
You are nothing but a grain of sand in the ocean, Arthur. Time, ready to work.
Well, you see, of course, it was only after I
shedded that barbaric form, that I could finally be me.
You don't get it, do you? You don't freaking say. I don't think you quite get it, really. I mean, we gotta do this. I gotta go. I don't think you really get it, man.
And that's just a few. There's a few more. I've got a few more. I've got in my down there, but that's a few. Do you have any advice for new VA/YouTubers with low quality equipment? Right. Okay. So with the VA thing, really the only thing you need is it's good to have a decent. You're gonna need a decent mic, right? Doesn't matter how good your acting is. If the quality's not great, then this very rarely is going to be used. So what I'd suggest would probably to go with either the AT2020 or the Blue Yeti. They're not like massive, so you can quite easily get, you know, not massively expensive. So they're reasonably easy to get. You can save up for them. And then eventually you'll upgrade to XLR, which is very expensive. And what I'm using one right now is Sennheiser 416. As for YouTubers, oh, sorry, actually, no, the recording thing, you can use Audacity, which is completely free. As for the whole YouTube thing, the mic's not as important, I would say. Like, there's a lot of big YouTubers who still use a Blue Yeti. Like, or even headset mics, some of them. And it's part of the charm. So, like, I wouldn't worry about too much with that. Recording software, I would suggest if you can't afford it, use OBS. It's free. It's what I'm using right now, actually. Or you can use something called DxTory, which is only like $30 or something like that for a license. So that's definitely what I would suggest for that. All right, we got through that. If your question wasn't picked, don't worry. If this does well, I want to definitely do more of these because I like getting the information out and all that, and it's fun. So thank you so much, guys, and be sure to look out for the next video on this and the next time I'm asking these questions. So yeah, peace out, guys.